Hey everybody, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining our channel. I'm joined here with Steve Holiday, who's part of our staff, and we're using this channel to help in the middle of the week, just to lean into things, and is used for discipleship, and also even just to inform you of what's going on in our church. And you may remember we started a nomination process for the office of elder back in November. And we've got a significant amount of elders coming up that'll rotate out for sabbatical, and then in just 2 years they'll completely rotate out. So we really want to fill that class to be ready when that happens. So challenges is we had a big COVID surge, and we were doing a lot of virtual back in December. And so when we were gathered in January, we just didn't have the numbers for nomination. And I felt like I need to do a better job of explaining this process, what an elder does, what an elder does here at our church. And so this is a great opportunity on this channel to do it in the middle of the week, because Sundays are hard to explain everything. And and we're in the middle of a Justice series, and I'm not going to pivot just on an elder series right now, because we really need to continue that discussion. So all that to say, long intro, is that the next 3 weeks we're going to just talk about what the heck is an elder. Why are we in a denomination that has elders? What historically does that mean? What do we see that in biblically? And why do we need elders? So what the heck is an elder? We're both elders technically. Well, I mean, not technically, we are. We're teaching elders in our denomination. We had to go about the hard way.
Yeah.
Going to seminary and making career changes to do that, but what is an elder?
Yeah. What's an elder? Well, according to the Bible, I mean, I guess when we think of elder, we oftentimes think from the word elder that it's typically older, and it does kind of mean that in the sense of maturity. So when you think of an elder in the group, you think of one who is more mature.
Right.
And so spiritual maturity, I guess, is a big part of it. But if you think of biblical images, I guess I like to think of Acts 20 and 1 Peter 5, which both use the word shepherd, shepherding the flock of God. That's what 1 Peter says. It talks about shepherding the flock of God. So I guess when you think of what a shepherd does, there's like several things that you could think of. I mean, I think of 4 terms that I've kind of used in the past: feed and lead and watch and warn. And so those are the kind of things that a shepherd does. So responsible for feeding the flock, for leading the congregation. There's a governing aspect, but there's also this coming alongside and shepherding and helping. A big role, I think, in the Word of God. When I think of an elder, I think of someone who loves the Word of God and who loves the people of God and has that role of trying to connect people with the Word of God in their life, in the church and in their lives. And that's a real shepherding role. I mean, do you see that?
Yeah, and we're going to look more at that, I think, in our third video, or maybe it's the next video, I can't remember, really dive into some of the scriptures that really talk about the qualifications. But I mean, it starts way back with Jethro, Moses' father-in-law. I mean, Moses is like all annoyed and burnt out, it seems like, and everybody's coming to him. And Jethro's like, this is foolish. You need to appoint essentially elders, like 75 of them or something, for the people to go to. And we see this throughout. The Apostle Paul does this. He goes on these 3 missionary journeys in the book of Acts. He goes into these towns and starts a church, and he doesn't leave until he's appointed elders. Right? He raises up and he trains them. And interestingly enough, in our denomination, there's 2 types of elders. There's the teaching elder. Those are those like Steve and I and Michael Coggin when he's here. We all have to go through a process of seminary and getting ordained and being called to be an elder. but we also have a ruling elders, and that's what we're addressing now. It's those who are literally, we're made, it's like we're made of the same office, but we have different uses. Like I have different functions. I'm employed to work here as you are as well. Our elders, the ruling elders, they have day jobs and are busy and they have families, but they're doing this as a labor of love because they felt the church said, we think you're called to this by folks in our congregation.
And we all together share that shepherding role.
We do.
Which is a
yeah.
ministry in the Word. And so not everyone preaches, but everyone is supposed to, all the elders are supposed to have an understanding of the Word so that they can use it and apply it and help people in it.
Yeah.
Right?
And, you know, Presbyterian, like that word comes from the Greek word presbyteros, which is the word for elder. So our, you know, interestingly enough, how this works, it's really grassroots and inverted leadership. I'm actually not even a member of our church. I can't join, neither can Steve. Though I'm on the session, I can't vote unless there's a tiebreaker. I'm the moderator of the session. And so we have a lot of checks and balances. Steve and I are members of the presbytery. That's made up of all the churches in our area. And that's a longer discussion some other day, but...
Well, speaking of the session, since you brought that up,
yeah.
I talked a little bit about what an elder is according to the Bible. What does an elder at GBR do?
Yeah.
Like, what are some of their functions?
I mean, it's the assisting in the oversight, the spiritual oversight of the church. You know, we spend a lot of time praying together. We want to do better at that because what typically can really happen in a lot of churches, and we've been very guilty of it at times, is we can just get into just management and, you know, there's just a lot of tasks. But we conduct a monthly meeting. It's called a session meeting. And we have an agenda just like any other sort of normal board meeting. But at our church, you know, we try to make our elders actively involved in shepherding our people. Our elders are they're there up on Sundays praying for you, offering the benediction, available for you. A lot of them lead small groups or serve in children's ministry. And so they're there for you. During COVID and even now, we've set up a parish system where a lot of our elders call people and check in with them. And so we're sharing that together. And it's accountable for me. They're my bosses. And I report to them.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand that it is a leadership position, but in the church, it is spiritual leadership.
Yeah.
So it's not like just any business organization.
Right.
Some of the same functions, but that spiritual leadership is really significant as you look for what an elder should be.
Yeah, and so in the training process, which will be a video later, I mean, that's really what I'm dialing into. Is I'm really trying to get a tune for character, you know, and the person's heart. You know, they might know all the right theology, but do they have the right heart for it? And then also culture fit here. I mean, GBR is a really unique church, and requires that you know our culture and how to navigate in that. Yeah. How long have you been an elder in the?
You know, I was a ruling elder first, so
Really?
I've done both. So I was a
know.
ruling elder for like 15 years, and then a teaching elder for like 15 years.
Wow.
And so, I guess what's that add up to? 15? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I hope this information's helpful.
Yeah.
At least it'll get us started.
Yeah, and so at the end of the month, we're going to have nominations again. We're going to restart it. So just keep checking in, and in between now and then, or the next video, or time we have our next congregational meeting, feel free to email us with questions if you want to know more about what an elder does.
Yeah, I think part 2 is supposed to be something like, then who should serve?
Yeah.
What do we look for in an elder? What are their qualifications, right?
Yeah.
So, good.
Cool.
right,
Thanks for
appreciate it.
joining us. See you
Thank you.
next time.